Hey guys, it's Sarah with Grassroots Evolution Tarot, and I'm just here to pop on. I have a message coming through. It's been trying to get through for a while, so I just want to share it with you. For all my subscribers, I love you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for being here. You mean the world to me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. If you'd like to see more when I post, please hit subscribe. Join this journey with me. But know that no matter what messages come through, it's still up to you and your active free will, the choices you make, the steps you take, and how you interpret this message as well. Okay, this is all subjective. This is what it is to you, and don't make it fit if it's not. Take what you feel resonates. Disregard the rest, my friends. So I'm just going to take a moment to call in Spirit. I'm going to ask my team of light, as well as any of your guides or my guides, that would be here for the highest good of all of us. I'm going to ask they guide, guard, bless, and protect this reading, myself, and any of you who would ask for it, as well as to use me as the clearest channel possible, but delivering messages for like the highest good of all of us. So, and then we have the Nine of Wands in here. So the Nine of Pentacles came out upside down, and I just want to say trigger warning, and I hope that this is not what's going on, but some of you, I feel like, may have, just for some of you, I heard right away is like there could have been a pregnancy loss, and I am so sorry if that's what this is. So right away, like, my heart hurts too. So just, Spirit, what is the advice to this? So Ace of Pentacles come up through here. So like, this is just what I heard, as if this is something, and this could be like a complete side note and not even part of this. So I might just like upload this separate, because I feel like this is, I don't know, they're saying keep it. Also, okay, we'll keep it, because it's not just pregnancy, okay? But if it is, with this Ace of Pentacles, there is new coming. Whether this is new life, whether this is another pregnancy, or whether this is something very, very tangible in this world, okay? And I feel like, sorry if you hear that scratching, my dog is kind of being a little crazy right now. But we have the Ace of Pentacles with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and a lot of things like upside down. I'm going to put this in because I heard there's a lot of unforeseen forces. There's been a lot of heartbreak, there's been a lot of hurt, and they're saying this isn't necessarily pregnancy. This is something that we thought we had, we wanted to come true, we wanted this. This could be, for some of you, this, what I heard is like a called off engagement, but then something new is happening, and as we let go of the old life, or those old ways of thinking, and old ways of being, and old ways of, what I heard is projecting ourselves out to this world, we're creating a new system, or a new place of our own identity. And with the thing with being the Pentacles here is at the Ace, like, this is the wolf, this is you, and what I heard is like lone wolf endeavors, as well as I'm being drawn to the moon and cycles of the moon and that trinity. Just a minute, guys. Alright, I'm back. So before I get further, I brought some oracle cards I want to read. I feel like this is because we're healing from it. This could have even been what they're saying. The simplicity's on the bottom. I'm going to read that and share that. But I think part of it says, put your energy into the basics and let go of excess. Part of this is that healing from those things that were lost, right? Healing from the things that we've lost, healing from the things that we thought would come to fruition and come to a certain way, and they didn't. And they're also talking to me about, like, it's this, from the ashes rises something else. From this loss, something became, you know. And for some of you, I definitely heard it struggling, and it could be loss of a loved one, right? For some of you, and this is not everybody, okay, but what I heard for someone is it's like the loss of a gift as well. And if that resonates, what I heard for that part is get yourself like a spiritual bath. Get some sea salt, Epsom salt, you know, burn a candle, get some of the crystals around you. What I heard here is black, for some of you, to black tourmaline, you know, rose quartz, sea orange, yellow as well would help you, like any, you love yellow calcite, Spirit, what message do you have to help us as we start this change? The changes that you are going through are positive. And I love that this one's a boy as well. Because, I mean, they're just whatever, and they're boys. But this one, like, really looks boyish. It doesn't look like girly unicorn, but it's okay to be different. You don't need to be like everyone else. You're perfect just the way you are. And what a boring world it would be if we were all perfect and like walking robots, right? If we were all the same, it would not be a very interesting world, would it? So we have curiosity. Start a project related to something you're curious about. For some of you, this is like the cat. I love this because this is this curiosity of the kitten, but armed with like the understanding of what your dangers and your surroundings and things like that. We also have family culture. Learn more about your family stories and your histories. And I think this is really important, what I heard is in terms of lineage, because, oh my god, just a second, guys. Okay. Because, you know, what I heard is in our genetics, right? Also, for some of you, and this isn't everyone, but depending on what's happened, like what I heard is trauma survivors and things like that, they say that trauma can rewrite the genetics and it can be passed down. I believe healing, right? But also, like, there's some things, especially what I heard is right now, like, this is like, for some of you, it's forgotten knowledge about what, you know, like here's Native American, right? And I'm thinking about like Indigenous in Canada, where, you know, the goal was to wipe out their knowledge, to wipe out their culture. So trying to find out, you know, about your culture and about where you came from and getting those stories is really important because it's something that has been tried to be eradicated, right? And in this way, this can go in so many ways. This goes with what I heard is survivors as well. And also right now, like World War II veterans, things like that, where there is a massive trauma within the family system and within societies in general. And like, I mean, I'm third generation of that, and we're at this point where it's coming now full circle into the next one, a new cycle. But there was this part of oh my gosh, so I also want to talk about like immigration too a little bit, because my grandmother and my husband's grandmother were both war brides. So they were British women who married Canadian soldiers in the UK and had families and came here. If it were not for that, if it weren't for that system, if it weren't for immigration, I wouldn't be here. I would not be here. And I can't imagine how many of us can actually say, right, that if it weren't for immigration, because we're not Indigenous. And if you are Indigenous, right, you can see also there's this effect, right, of how this changes the world, right? And this is it completely there's this lineage of, right, being able to see what I heard is like the broader world around us and how we all came together, right? How this world came together, how our lives affected each other, the interconnectedness of everything, but the intersection is what I heard as well, because this also goes with, you know, I think about Hudson's Bay, right? I think about colonization and things like this, where it is very important. And this is also curiosity, right? Like Farley Mowat books really explain a lot about that time period and about how, you know, Indigenous Canadians, right, like First Nations were treated and how the land was expropriated, and then also systems of dependency created, right? Colonization, colonialization, whatever you want to call it. But, so also water. So that's separate and above, but there's so much talk right now and hatred, I want to say, in this world, okay? Hatred in terms of, like, how people are treated, the kind of ways that we're looking, the fact that there's literal genocide happening, and people are being put into I know there's a lot of controversy on this, but the definition of a concentration camp is what is happening with migrant people and the people who are being detained and taken, right? In the United States, and I say that, and I'm not from the United States, but I've been reading a lot about Hitler lately, and if you don't like what I have to say, well, I'm sorry, but not really. It's my channel, go away. But seriously, on this, in terms of family culture, it's important what we do, I feel like. So, you know, what you watch with your kids, how you explain things, what you show them, you know, it's really, really important to share those family stories. And for us, part of this is like World War II history, because that's how my grandparents met, right? My great grandparents, that's how they met. And also, it's kind of been one of those like niche things I like to learn about, right? So at this point, making sure that my kids also are aware of, like, we've watched Swing Kids the other day together, just to kind of be like, you know what, this is an age appropriate thing that we can show you, to kind of give you that depiction, right? And it's also that it was on Remembrance Day as well, right? So a lot more to tie into that. But so also water, which kind of takes me back here with like going on about like the rape and pillage of land, okay? Land industrialization, colonization in terms of taking it, and then what also has happened for capitalism, okay? The destruction of the land, the poisoning of a lot of waters because of industry, right? And I think it's going to be more and more important as well for they're bringing me back to the indigenous ways of really honoring this land, right? Really honoring this land and not poisoning the earth, right? Not destroying the waters. There's also this importance of having water in your body. So drinking more water and eat foods with water in them, such as fruits and vegetables. So I feel like there's an important change for some of you, like whatever you've been really, really heavily focused in activism, okay? Or like if it's something that, you know, you've been saying this all along. It's, for example, the people who have been saying for years and years and years, like, aliens are real. Yeah, they are. They're putting things out on, like, Fox News, if it's really there, that about, you know, extraterrestrial beings. I can't remember what it is, but if you are interested, check that out, because, I mean, it's not funny, but just, check that out. Anyway, so I'm going to move on just one more thing before I get through this, because I feel like it's important, and I really like this deck. So, what can you leave me with here, please, Spirit? And also, there's, like, the Turtle Island on there, too, right? So, what messages would you leave with anyone who's resonated with this? A whole lot. Elder Dragonfly. Just a minute, guys. Alright, I'm back. So, you have the Elder Wolf, protect your energy. Which, that is 2 of them, my friends. 2 of them. And what I like about this wolf is that it's blue eyes. It's seeing very, very clearly. But this is also speaking your truth, howling at the moon, and here. Forging on, sometimes what I'm seeing is like through the snow. I'm also hearing the word Snow Walker, so Farley Mowat book turned into a movie. Thunderbird, reclaim your power. Elder Swan, recognize your beauty. Elder Raven, activate your spiritual connection. It's beautiful. And then Elder Bee, work with purpose. Oh, we have 2 of them. And Elder Snake, release the old. Absolutely. Release the old, the things that are gone that, you know, you thought you wanted, and maybe you realize it's not what you wanted. I also heard, like, thinking about, there's a I think it's Garth Brooks. I might be wrong, but there's a couple of them. I think it's Garth Brooks, but it's like thank God for unanswered prayers, right? The things you thought you wanted so bad that turned out to be not the thing that you really wanted, but led you on the path to something what I heard is much more stable, more enlightening, and just where you were meant to be in this world. Again, if you resonated with this being the loss of something or someone, or, pregnancy loss, knowing that, first off, okay, this is very specific, but first off, you're whole. You are absolutely whole. There's nothing, you're whole. Okay, you are, it's not something wrong with you, right? That's just what I'm hearing, okay? Just so you know, if that was you. But if not, it's either way with any of us. When things like this happen, and when our lives kind of implode or things go topsy-turvy, we definitely have a place where we can look at the role that we've played in, or how we've, how we've handled ourselves, and, how we need to change and move forward from there. The light switched in the room. Sorry, it was just really weird. I feel like I'm getting a download too, so that's also strange. See the look. Oh, I love this one. The Elder Heron. Practice patience, right? Every single day. Practicing patience. Being... These big birds can fly too, which I find like crazy. Anyway, but being able to have, your feet grounded in your emotions, but being able to see and speak clearly, and not, not, what I heard is not getting muddled in the emotions when you're trying to speak, and to practice the patience. What I heard is, like, for some of this too, like, especially with it's okay to be different and what I'm talking about, like, if, at all, like, with any activism things or anything like that, or if, you're stuck around people who have a completely different view than you, it's okay to be different. You don't need to, like, blend in. And I gotta say, some of this really speaks to, this being a lifetime of not fitting in, like, always being, like, the other one out. And for some of you, it's always been standing up for justice. So I feel like in this case, like, they're telling me, like, you be a really good lobbyist, right? Be a great lobbyist for your cause. Last card I got was in the Ace of Cups. So this is coming in with a wise, I heard wise, passionate love. You have the Five of Swords as well, which to me that tells me, like, it's almost like putting an end, for some of you, this is putting an end to not speaking. Eight of Wands and Four of Wands under there, right? Like, there's something holding it up for sure. Oh, the Two of Wands in there too. Like, there's not an action being taken quite yet. Or I feel like it's also, though, the way I look at it, the way it came out, it might just be because these wands are literally pointing to the owl. This is a wise kind of love. But I feel like it's really, really important throughout your days, your years, your life, with this Seven of Cups as well. Here, choices. I'm going to go with Strength, which is another wolf. That's the third wolf. And the Moon. And the Hare. Right? That also, interesting, because you normally see these as predator and prey. But in this way, it's kind of just, I think these are two very important spirit animals as well. But also knowing that there is hidden strength, also what I heard is within you, that you have no idea about. And for some of you, like, that hidden strength has kept you, what I heard is kept you afloat, obviously. But this is where it's like, this Ace of Cups, it's to figure out which choice you have. Which is the Ace of Cups that gives you this, right? What is the one out of all of these that's looking at your choices and looking at also, I feel like this is also all the things that light you up. So it doesn't have to be that you only choose one. You can have lots of choices. Some of it is going to be what brings your heart that happiness. Some of it's going to be what brings you happiness in terms of, other things, like you're having a bath, right? Things that show your self-love, or things that bring your heart joy, right? And I feel like this could be a really important time just to kind of work on your self-love right now. And again, sharing this family culture, being curious, and also helping to facilitate change. That's going to be really important. Facilitate change in your own world, and then it will spread out into the outer. That's what I have. Mwah. Love you all, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.